Shank 1 and Shank 2 worth playing in 2023, my fair review. Shank 1 came out exactly 13 years ago, while Shank 2 is around 11 years old now. I decided to replay both after over a decade, and man did I have some brutally stupid fun out of those two. Let's rate them properly as they deserve. First section is the story. Shank's wife is murdered by a gang boss while she was pregnant, and Shank is on a revenge mission. That's the story of Shank 1. Insane cinematics, funny as hell, plenty of time this game kept a smile on my face, cartoonish but extremely sexual and violent cinematics in this one. No agenda crap, none of this brainwashing trending stuff in this old game, just straight comedy, violence and fun. Every cinematic in Shank 1 is a mini piece of art, by the way. In Shank 2, our dear Shank is alone against a tyrant. Story is simple: slay the tyrant, save the people, and stop the tyranny. It is clear from the start that our main tyrant is a bold Hitler parody. Weaker cinematics than in Shank 1, but still there were a lot of funny ones. Acting, writing is superb for both games and what they want to be. Shank 1 will get 9 out of 10 for the story, while Shank 2 will get 7 out of 10. Next section would be game bugs and optimization. Both games are optimized to perfection, with mega fast loading screens, completely bug-free and in perfect working condition. 10 out of 10 for Shank 1 and Shank 2. I also have to say how Shank 2 is at least twice smoother game than Shank 1. Next section would be game time. Both games are short, mega short, 2 hours long campaigns in total. Depends on the difficulty, and of course they offer survival mod as well as a co-op campaign. So maximum time that you can extract out of both Shank games would be around 10 hours in total, I guess. Now comes the price. Both games are often on sale for around $2 to $3 only, so it means that for $5 to $6 you get 5 hours of single player content and 5 hours of co-op content. Not good enough for that price, especially having in mind that these are nearly 15 years old games. 6 out of 10 for the game time, both games are just way too short. Next section would be game difficulty. Extremely well balanced on normal difficulty, rage inducing, no checkpoints option on hard difficulty. Once you get used to chain your combos, difficulty drops a bit, but be sure of one thing: you will die in both games. From classic mobs, from platforming, from bosses, you will die. 8 out of 10 for the game difficulty. Next section is maps and graphics. Around 10 maps in total in both games. All colors are covered, amazing backgrounds also. Shank 2 is clearly a better looking game with smoother gameplay and UI than Shank 1. Art style is straight amazing in both games. Shank's faces while he kills enemies are straight hilarious. 8 out of 10 for Shank 1 and 9 out of 10 for Shank 2 for maps and graphics. Next section would be gameplay. It's beat 'em up side scroller that can be done in a single player as well as multiplayer, old school as it gets. What you do in this game is killing enemies and bosses in most brutal ways you can imagine. Baseball bats, cleavers, dual wielding pistols, throwing knives, daggers, axes, spears, and at least 20 more weapons. As far as combat goes, you can grapple enemies, you can throw them, jiggle them, mix different combos and get high scores for doing it. The main difference between Shank 1 and Shank 2 is smoothness, or should I say combat is way much smoother in Shank 2, way much faster. There are small sections of platforming in both games as well as some chase scenes, and that's about it. Both Shank games are extremely fun to play. They're very brain dead, fun, rage and laughter inducing games. Shank 1 will get 7 out of 10 for gameplay, while Shank 2 will get an 8 out of 10 for the gameplay. Next section would be leveling and itemization. The weakest part in both games. Shank 1 does it better in short, because you can switch weapons along the way as you play, while in Shank 2 you pick starting weapons and you need to stick with them till the very end of the map. That's the main difference. There is no XP, no skill tree, no points, no perks, no health upgrades and similar things. none of that. The only thing that exists in both games is new weapon unlocks. You got light weapons, or should I say shanks, you got heavy weapons like chainsaw, katana, and so on, and you got ranged weapons like daggers, shotgun, pistols, and you got bombs like mines, molotovs, and grenades. That's about it. The only consumable along the way is a health flask to recover your missing health. That's it. Weak, very weak leveling and itemization. If nothing else, using different type of weapons to slaughter enemies feels good in return. So that's a very good thing. 6 out of 10 cause it impacts the gameplay for what there is in both games. Leveling and itemization, again, will get 6 out of 10. Next section would be NPCs and enemies. Most of the NPCs in both games are the actual enemies, bad guys. Extremely memorable and funny bosses with even funnier opening and death cutscenes. Enemy variety is low, melee humans, range humans, big humans, small humans, and mega small humans in Shank 2, with additional wolves and dogs in both games. Boss variety is huge in both games, very short games with a lot of boss fights, by the way. Now, some bosses are straight easy, but some of them can be very tough till you learn their movesets and tricks to stunlock them. All in all, a solid 8 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies, cause everyone in both of these games is absolutely hilarious. Music and sound as the last section. Nice music, great voice acting, and amazing, and when I say amazing, I mean amazing sound effects. That's it in short. 9 out of 10 for music and sound in both Shank games. Final verdict. For Shank 1, we got 71 points in 9 sections, and that would be 7.8 out of 10 for Shank 1 in 2023. For Shank 2, score is exactly the same, 7.8 out of 10 in 2023. Both Shank games are very good, short, packed with action, with amazing art style, and what's most important, they offer full brain-dead experience and a lot of laughs. Shank franchise is worth playing in 2023. I also dare say, because of its approach and cartoonish art style, that this game, both of them, will feel exactly the same in 3000 years from now. Fun, gore, laughs, and action. Shank franchise is worth playing in 2023. Game is very often on sale for $2, so buy it when you have one free Sunday afternoon, so you can play and finish both games. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.